She thought the wealthy man was kidnapping her daughter from the playground. But when he opened his briefcase, tears streamed down her face. Jennifer's fingers trembled as she punched in her employee code at the convenience store terminal. 10:15 p.m. She was late again. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting harsh shadows across her wrinkled uniform. Her second job of the day, and her feet already felt like lead weights. Third time this week, Jennifer. Marco, her supervisor, stood behind the counter with his arms crossed. His voice carried that edge she'd grown to hate. You can't keep doing this. The bus was running behind, and I had to save it. Marco cut her off with a wave of his hand. Just get to your station. We got inventory to count. Jennifer grabbed her name tag from the hook, fingers brushing against the worn plastic. 3 years at this job, and it still felt temporary. Like everything else in her life. The store phone rang, sharp and intrusive. Marco picked it up, his expression shifting from annoyed to confused. Jennifer? It's for you. Some woman. Jennifer's stomach dropped. Nobody called her at work unless, hello. Her voice cracked as she pressed the receiver to her ear. Is this Lily's mom? The voice on the other end was young, panicked. Not her regular babysitter. Yes, who is this? Where's Maria? Maria had an emergency, so she asked me to fill in. I'm her cousin, Amanda. Listen, the girl's voice caught. I only looked away for a minute, I swear. We were at the playground, and Jennifer's grip tightened on the phone. Where's Lily? I can't find her. The words hit like a physical blow. Jennifer's knees buckled, and she grabbed the counter for support. The fluorescent lights seemed to pulse, making her head spin. What do you mean you can't find her? Her voice rose, drawing Marco's attention. How long? Maybe 30 minutes? I've looked everywhere around the playground. I called Maria, but she's not answering, and I didn't know what to. Which playground? Jennifer's words came out in a rush. Where are you? Roosevelt Park, near Michigan Avenue. I'm so sorry, Jennifer dropped the phone, letting it clatter against the counter. The morning's goodbye flashed through her mind. Lily's sleepy smile, her tiny arms wrapped around Jennifer's neck, the smell of baby shampoo in her curls. I have to go. She was already moving, pulling off her name tag. Marco stepped in front of her. You can't leave in the middle of your shift. We got inventory, and my daughter's missing. The words came out raw, desperate. My 3-year-old is out there somewhere alone. If you walk out that door, don't bother coming back. Jennifer met his eyes. All those late nights, extra shifts, swallowing her pride when customers treated her like she was invisible. None of it mattered now. Keep the job. She pushed past him, into the night. The rain hit her face as soon as she stepped outside, cold and sharp. Detroit's streets stretched out before her, a maze of shadows and neon signs. Traffic roared past, sending up sprays of dirty water. Jennifer started running. Her work shoes weren't made for this. The thin soles slipped on the wet sidewalk, and her uniform shirt clung to her skin. But she kept going, past closed shops with their metal shutters drawn, past groups of people huddled under awnings, staring as she ran by. Lily! Her voice was swallowed by the sound of traffic and rain. Lily! A bus rumbled past, its headlights cutting through the darkness. Jennifer's mind raced with possibilities, each one worse than the last. Lily was so small, so trusting. She'd go with anyone who smiled at her. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. Maria. Jennifer answered without breaking stride. How could you? She gasped between breaths. Some cousin? A stranger? Jennifer, I'm so sorry. My mother had a stroke. I had to. You should have called me. I would have figured something out. I tried. You were at work. And she's 3. Jennifer's scream echoed off the buildings. Several people turned to stare. She's 3 years old. And now she's out there somewhere because you couldn't. Her voice broke. I'm on my way to the park now, Maria said quickly. Amanda's still looking. We'll find her. Jennifer ended the call. Her legs burned, lungs ached, but she couldn't slow down. Roosevelt Park was still 10 blocks away. 10 blocks where anything could happen, where anything might have already happened. A police car sat idling at the next intersection. Jennifer ran toward it. Waving her arms, the window rolled down, revealing a young officer's face. My daughter's missing, she gasped. Please, I need help. The officer's expression remained neutral. How long has she been missing? Almost an hour. She was at Roosevelt Park with a babysitter. And an hour? He shook his head. Ma'am, we can't file a missing persons report until at least 4 hours have passed. She's probably just wandered off. Have you checked with relatives? She's 3 years old. Jennifer wanted to scream, to shake him. She's out here in the rain alone. Look, go home and wait. If she doesn't turn up in a few hours, come to the station and file a report. That's the procedure. The window rolled up, leaving Jennifer staring at her own reflection in the tinted glass. The patrol car pulled away, disappearing into the rain. Her phone buzzed again. Her mother this time. Jennifer almost didn't answer, but she needed all the help she could get. Mom, Lily's missing. She was at Roosevelt Park with. What kind of mother leaves her baby with strangers? Her mother's voice cut like a knife. I told you this would happen. Working all these jobs, trusting God knows who with my grandbaby. Mom, please. I don't need this right now. Can you just... You should have listened to me. Should have moved back home when her daddy ran off. But no, you had to be independent. Had to. Jennifer hung up. She couldn't deal with this. Not now. Not when every second that passed was another second Lily was out there somewhere. The rain fell harder, drumming against the pavement. Jennifer's uniform was soaked through now, her hair plastered to her face. She pushed on, legs screaming in protest. A crowd had gathered ahead, people holding umbrellas and phones. Jennifer's heart jumped into her throat. Please, not an accident. Please not. She forced herself to run faster, pushing through the bodies. Someone was shouting. A woman's voice, high and desperate. Take your hands off my daughter. Jennifer froze. That wasn't her voice. But it could have been. The crowd parted, and she saw them. A well-dressed man in an expensive suit, holding a small figure wrapped in what looked like his jacket. And there, through the rain and the darkness and her own tears, she saw them. Those familiar curls. That yellow hair clip she'd put in this morning. Lily, she whispered. Then louder, her voice rising to a scream that tore through the night. Lily. The world narrowed to a single point. Her daughter, in a stranger's arms, everything else. The rain, the crowd, her aching body, faded away. Jennifer started running again, but this time she was running toward something. Toward her whole world, held in the hands of a man she didn't know. And she had no idea if she was about to find her greatest relief or her worst nightmare. Jennifer's feet pounded against the wet pavement as she raced through the rain-slicked streets of Detroit. The neon signs from nearby stores cast colored reflections in the puddles, distorting like fun house mirrors. Her breath came in sharp gasps, visible in the cold night air. Lily! Her voice was getting hoarse from shouting. Baby, where are you? A group of teenagers huddled under an awning stared as she ran past. One of them called out, Lady, you okay? She didn't stop. Couldn't stop. The police station loomed ahead, its brick facade dark and uninviting. Jennifer burst through the front doors, water dripping from her clothes onto the linoleum floor. The desk sergeant barely looked up from his computer. Can I help you? My daughter, Jennifer gasped, gripping the edge of the counter. She's missing. 3 years old. Roosevelt Park. Fill this out. He slid a form across the counter. We can process it after the 4-hour waiting period. Jennifer slammed her hand on the counter. I don't have 4 hours. She's out there right now. That got his attention. He looked up, eyes narrowing. Ma'am, please lower your voice. My baby is missing, and you want me to wait? Her voice cracked. She's 3 years old, wearing a pink sweater and jeans. Her hair is in 2 puffs with yellow clips. Please. The sergeant sighed, leaning back in his chair. Look, 99% of these cases, the kid's with a relative or friend. Have you checked with the father? Jennifer's laugh was bitter. Her father disappeared before she was born. Block my number, moved away. He doesn't even know she exists. Other family members? Friends? I've called everyone. Jennifer's hands were shaking. The babysitter left her with some cousin I've never met. At a playground. In the rain. And there's your answer. The sergeant nodded like he'd solved a puzzle. Probably with the cousin. Go home. Wait it out. If she doesn't turn up in 4 hours, come back and The cousin already called me. Jennifer's scream echoed through the lobby. Several officers looked up from their desks. She lost her. Lost my baby. And you're sitting here, telling me to wait? A younger officer approached, his face showing more concern than the sergeant's. Maybe we could send a car to check. Johnson, back to your desk. The sergeant's voice was sharp. Ma'am, this is procedure. We can't send units out for every parent who loses track of their kid for an hour. Jennifer stared at him, really seeing him for the first time. His clean uniform, his wedding ring, the family photo on his desk showing 2 smiling children. If it was your kid, she said quietly, would you wait 4 hours? His expression flickered, but he just pushed the form toward her again. Fill this out. Come back in 3 hours. Jennifer turned and walked out, leaving the form untouched. The rain had gotten worse, but she barely felt it now. She headed back toward Roosevelt Park, her shoes squishing with every step. Her phone rang again. Maria, any sign of her? Jennifer asked, not breaking stride. Amanda's still looking. I'm 10 minutes away. Jennifer, I'm so sorry, I never thought. Save it. Jennifer ended the call. The playground came into view through the rain. Empty swings moved in the wind, chains creaking. The slide gleamed wet and slick. No children. No Lily. Jennifer circled the equipment, calling Lily's name. She checked under the play structure, behind trees, in the public restrooms, nothing but puddles and shadows. A woman walking her dog stopped to watch. Lost something? My daughter. Jennifer's voice was raw. 3 years old. Have you seen? The woman was already hurrying away, pulling her dog along. Jennifer watched them disappear into the rain. Her phone buzzed. A text from her mother, coming to help look. This wouldn't have happened if you'd listened to me. Jennifer's thumb hovered over the call button. She needed help, needed someone. But her mother's words from earlier still stung. What kind of mother leaves her baby with strangers? The kind who has to work 2 jobs, she thought. The kind who can't afford proper daycare. The kind who... A memory hit her, sharp and clear. Lily's father standing in her apartment doorway 3 years ago. His face when she told him she was pregnant. The way he'd backed away, shaking his head. I can't do this, he'd said. I'm not ready for this. Then he was gone. No calls. No texts. Just silence. Jennifer dialed her mother's number. I'm at Victory Foods, her mother answered. Checking all the stores on Michigan Avenue. Mom, Jennifer's voice caught. Don't you dare cry. Her mother's voice was hard. This is what happens when you try to do everything yourself. When you don't listen to people who know better. I told you to move back home. Told you that girl Maria wasn't reliable. But you always know best, don't you? I'm trying, Jennifer whispered. I'm doing the best I can. Your best got your daughter lost in Detroit at night. In the rain, her mother's voice cracked slightly. My grandbaby is out there somewhere because you're too proud to admit you need help. Jennifer ended the call. She couldn't break down. Not now. Lily needed her to be strong. She started walking, checking every store still open. The convenience store clerk hadn't seen a little girl. The late-night laundromat was empty except for an old man dozing in a plastic chair. The pizza place was closing up, its workers unhelpful and eager to leave. Lily. Jennifer's voice echoed off brick walls. Baby, please. Where are you? A car slowed beside her, window rolling down. Jennifer's heart jumped. Need a ride? The driver grinned, showing gold teeth. Jennifer walked faster, ignoring him. The car kept pace. Come on, Mama. Raining too hard to be out walking. My daughter's missing, Jennifer snapped. Either help me look or leave me alone. The car sped up, splashing dirty water onto her legs as it passed. Her phone battery was at 20%. Jennifer tried calling Amanda again, but it went straight to voicemail. She tried Maria 3 more times with no answer. Thunder rumbled overhead. The rain came down harder, turning the streets into shallow rivers. Jennifer's uniform clung to her skin, completely soaked through. A crowd had gathered ahead, people holding phones up like they were recording something. Jennifer's heart started racing. Please let it be Lily. Please let her be safe. She pushed through the bodies, ignoring protests and muttered complaints. The crowd parted. And there, through the rain and the darkness, she saw them. A man in an expensive suit, holding a small figure wrapped in what looked like his jacket. And those familiar curls, that yellow hair clip she'd put in this morning. "Lily," she whispered. The world tilted on its axis. Every fear, every nightmare scenario she'd imagined in the past hour crashed together in her mind. Her daughter, in the arms of a stranger. Jennifer didn't realize she was screaming until she heard her own voice, raw and desperate, tear through the night. "Take your hands off my daughter." The crowd turned to stare. The man in the suit looked up, his expression unreadable. And Lily was reaching toward her. Those tiny hands she'd kissed goodbye this morning, now stretching out from a stranger's arms. Jennifer started running again. But this time she wasn't running blind. This time she could see her target. Her whole world, held in the hands of a man she didn't know. The rain kept falling, but Jennifer didn't feel it anymore. All she felt was the thunder of her heart, the burning in her legs, and the desperate need to reach her child. She had no idea what would happen next. No idea if this was rescue or catastrophe. But she knew one thing with absolute certainty. Whatever happened, she wasn't letting Lily out of her sight again. The crowd pressed in around Jennifer as she pushed forward, their phones raised like torches in the rain. Her heart pounded against her ribs as she got closer to the man holding Lily. He stood there in his expensive gray suit, now soaked through, holding her daughter like he had any right to touch her. "Get away from her!" Jennifer's voice cut through the murmur of the crowd. "Let go of my baby!" The man turned slowly, keeping Lily secure in his arms. His face was clean-shaven, features sharp under the street lights. He looked young for a businessman, maybe early 30s. Under different circumstances, Jennifer might have noticed his gentle eyes or the careful way he held Lily. But all she saw was a stranger with her child. "Ma'am," he said, his voice calm and steady, "please let me explain." "There's nothing to explain." Jennifer was close enough now to see Lily's face clearly. Her daughter looked up at her with wide eyes, but showed no signs of distress. That fact alone made Jennifer's stomach twist. "Give me my daughter." The crowd had formed a tight circle around them. Jennifer heard snippets of their whispered commentary. "That's the mother? Why's the kid with him? Should we call the cops?" A security guard from the nearby shopping center pushed through the crowd, his hand on his radio. "What's going on here?" "This man has my daughter," Jennifer said, her voice shaking. "He took her from the playground." The man shook his head, still maddeningly calm. "That's not what happened. I found her alone." "Liar." Jennifer lunged forward, reaching for Lily. The security guard stepped between them. "Everyone stay calm," the guard said, looking between Jennifer and the man. "Sir, is this your child?" "No," the man answered honestly. "But if you'll let me explain, he's trying to kidnap her." Jennifer's scream echoed off the surrounding buildings. More people were gathering now, drawn by the commotion. "My baby was at the playground with her babysitter, and the babysitter left." The man cut in, his voice firm but not unkind. "I watched her walk away, talking on her phone. This little girl was alone in the rain for at least 20 minutes before I approached her." Jennifer felt like she'd been slapped. "What?" "I was leaving my office," he continued, gesturing to the high-rise behind them. "I saw her from my window, sitting alone on the swing set. I watched, waiting for someone to come back for her. Nobody did." The security guard frowned. "Is this true, ma'am? About the babysitter?" Jennifer's hands clenched into fists. "My regular sitter had an emergency. She left Lily with her cousin, who," her voice caught, "who apparently abandoned my daughter in the rain." Lily chose that moment to speak up, her small voice cutting through the tension. "Mommy, I was scared." The sound of her daughter's voice broke something in Jennifer. Tears mixed with the rain on her face. "Baby, I'm here now. Everything's okay. Mr. Thompson helped me," Lily continued, patting the man's chest with her tiny hand. "He gave me his coat, 'cause I was cold." Jennifer noticed for the first time that Lily was wrapped in what must have been a $1,000 suit jacket. It dwarfed her small frame, but kept her dry. Her daughter's hair and clothes underneath were barely damp, while the man, Thompson, was soaked to the skin. A woman in the crowd spoke up. "I saw the whole thing." He walked right up to the security desk with her, Try to get help finding her family. Been standing here waiting for almost an hour. The security guard relaxed slightly. That true, sir? Thompson nodded. I have the security footage on my phone. Show you exactly what happened. Jennifer's mind raced. An hour. Lily had been with this stranger for an hour while she ran through the streets, imagining the worst. While Maria's cousin abandoned her post. While the police told her to wait. Her voice cracked. I don't understand. Why didn't you call the police? I did. Thompson's expression hardened slightly. They said they couldn't file a report until 4 hours had passed. Said she probably wasn't really missing. The same answer they'd given her. Jennifer felt her legs wobble, exhaustion and relief hitting her at once. The security guard noticed, pulling up a chair from nearby. Maybe we should all calm down and talk this through, he suggested. Get out of the rain at least. Thompson took a step toward Jennifer, still holding Lily securely. Your daughter's been very brave. She told me her name, and that her mommy works 2 jobs, and that she likes yellow hair clips. He smiled softly. She also said her favorite food is mac and cheese, and that she wants a pet turtle. Lily giggled. A big turtle, like Franklin. Jennifer sank into the chair, her whole body trembling. The crowd began to disperse, the drama apparently over. The security guard stepped back, but stayed within earshot. Can I? Jennifer held out her arms, please. Thompson immediately moved forward, carefully transferring Lily into her mother's embrace. The moment Jennifer felt her daughter's weight in her arms, the familiar smell of her hair, the warmth of her small body, the tears came in earnest. I'm so sorry, baby, she whispered, holding Lily tight. I'm so sorry I wasn't there. Don't cry, Mommy. Lily patted Jennifer's wet cheek. Mr. Thompson told me you'd come. He said mommies always come back for their babies. Jennifer looked up at the man still standing in the rain. His white shirt was transparent now, tie askew, hair plastered to his forehead. He'd ruined an outfit that probably cost more than she made in a month just to keep her daughter dry. Thank you, she managed, for taking care of her, for waiting. Thompson smiled, but there was something sad in his eyes. No decent person would do anything else. He reached for his briefcase, which sat beside the chair. Actually, if you have a moment, I'd like to. A commotion from the crowd interrupted him. A woman pushed through, her face flushed from running. Jennifer! Maria burst into the circle, panting. I got here as fast as I could. I'm so sorry, my cousin. She stopped short, taking in the scene. What's going on? Jennifer stood up, Lily secure in her arms. The exhaustion and fear of the past hour crystallized into something hard and sharp. What's going on? Her voice was deadly quiet. What's going on is that your cousin abandoned my 3-year-old at a playground. In the rain. At night. She took a step toward Maria. What's going on is that a complete stranger had to rescue my daughter while you were nowhere to be found. Maria's face crumpled. Jennifer, please. My mother had a stroke. I didn't know who else to call. So you called someone you didn't know? Someone who could just walk away and leave my baby alone? Jennifer was shouting now, not caring who heard. Do you have any idea what could have happened? I'll pay you back for today, Maria said quickly. And I promise it'll never. You're right. It won't. Jennifer shifted Lily to her hip. Because you're never watching her again. Any of you. But go home, Maria. Jennifer turned away. Go take care of your mother. I have to take care of mine. Maria opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. She backed away slowly, disappearing into what remained of the crowd. Jennifer watched her go, feeling nothing but a dull ache where trust had been. MS. Thompson cleared his throat. I don't know your name. Jennifer, she said softly. Jennifer Brooks. Ms. Brooks. He picked up his briefcase again. There's something I'd like to discuss with you if you have a moment. Jennifer looked down at Lily, who had started to doze against her shoulder. At Thompson, still standing in the rain. At the briefcase in his hand. She had no idea what this man wanted. No idea if she was about to hear something wonderful or terrible. But after everything that had happened tonight, she knew one thing. Sometimes the scariest moments could turn into something unexpected. Okay, she said. I'm listening. The security guard led them into the building's lobby, away from the rain and lingering onlookers. Jennifer's wet shoes squeaked against the polished floor as she followed. still holding Lily tight against her chest. The lobby lights cast a harsh glow over everything. The marble floors, the security desk, Thompson's soaked suit. "Let me get you folks some towels," the guard said, disappearing through a door marked staff only. Thompson set his briefcase on a nearby bench. "Please sit. You must be exhausted." Jennifer lowered herself onto the bench, keeping Lily in her lap. Her daughter's weight was familiar, grounding. "I lost my job tonight," she said, the words coming out before she could stop them. "Running out like that. My supervisor said not to come back." Thompson's expression tightened. "The convenience store on Michigan Avenue? You saw me there?" "No, Lily told me. She knows a lot about her mommy." He smiled at the drowsy child. "Said you work there at night and clean offices during the day." Jennifer stiffened. "Look, Mr. Thompson." "Michael," he corrected. "Please, Michael." She took a deep breath. "I appreciate what you did for Lily. More than I can say. But I don't need." The security guard returned with a stack of towels. "Here you go. You folks need anything else? Water, maybe?" "We're fine, James," Michael said, suggesting he knew the guard. "Thank you." Jennifer dried Lily's face and hair, then wrapped her in a fresh towel. Her daughter snuggled into it, eyes heavy with exhaustion. "Mommy," Lily's voice was soft. "Can Mr. Thompson tell you about the turtle?" "Turtle?" Jennifer frowned. Michael reached for his briefcase. "We had quite a conversation while waiting. About pets, dreams, and wait." Jennifer held up a hand. "Before you open that briefcase, I need to be clear about something. I'm grateful for what you did, but I'm not looking for charity. We get by just fine on our own." Michael's hand stilled on the briefcase. "Ms. Brooks, Jennifer." "Jennifer." He sat down on the bench, leaving space between them. "I watched your daughter sit alone in the rain for 20 minutes before I approached her. Do you know why I waited that long?" She shook her head. "Because I knew exactly how it would look. A man in a suit approaching a little girl alone? I knew the assumptions people would make. The same assumptions you made when you saw us." His voice was gentle but firm. "So I waited, hoping someone would come back for her. When no one did, I had a choice to make." Jennifer looked down at Lily, now dozing against her chest. "You chose to help. I chose to do what was right, regardless of how it might appear." He reached for the briefcase again. "And that's what I'm trying to do now, if you'll let me." The lobby doors burst open, and Jennifer's mother rushed in, her face flushed from running. "Jennifer!" "Baby, are you?" She stopped short at the sight of Michael. "Who's this?" "Mom, this is Michael Thompson. He found Lily when—" "Found her?" Her mother's voice rose. "What do you mean, found her? Where was that worthless babysitter? I told you Maria wasn't reliable, didn't I?" "Didn't I say, Mrs. Brooks?" Michael cut in smoothly, standing. "Your granddaughter is safe. That's what matters right now." Her mother drew herself up, eyes narrowing. "And who exactly are you? Why were you anywhere near my grandbaby?" "Mom, please." Jennifer felt a headache building behind her eyes. He helped her, kept her safe and dry while the rest of us were running around in the rain. "Helped her?" Her mother scoffed. "A strange man just happens to find her, and you're sitting here chatting with him like it's normal." Michael opened his briefcase, pulling out his phone. "Ma'am, I understand your concern. That's why I recorded everything." He tapped the screen a few times. "The security cameras in my office caught the whole thing. Would you like to see?" Jennifer's mother crossed her arms. "Show me." Michael held out the phone. On the screen, security footage showed the playground from above. Jennifer watched as Amanda, Maria's cousin, paced back and forth while talking on her phone. Lily sat alone on the swings, kicking her feet idly. After a few minutes, Amanda walked away, still on her phone, leaving Lily behind. "Fast forward about 20 minutes, Michael said quietly. The footage jumped ahead. Lily was still on the swing, but now she was hunched against the rain. The timestamp showed 9:47 p.m. A figure appeared at the edge of the frame. Michael, approaching slowly with his hands visible. "I spoke to her from a distance first," he explained. "Asked where her mom was, if she was supposed to be meeting someone." On screen, Lily pointed to where Amanda had disappeared. Michael nodded and pulled out his phone. The footage showed him making several calls to police, to security, to the front desk. "The cameras caught everything," he said, "including the 45 minutes we spent waiting right here in the lobby. where everyone could see us. Jennifer's mother was silent for a long moment. Then, why didn't you just call the police and walk away? Why get involved at all? Michael's expression hardened slightly. Because she's a child, Mrs. Brooks. A scared, cold, wet child who needed help. Would you have preferred I left her there? Of course not. But, then with all due respect, maybe we could focus on what's important here? He gestured to Lily, still sleeping peacefully in Jennifer's arms. Your daughter and granddaughter have had a terrible night. They're exhausted, wet, and stressed. And I have a proposal that might help make sure nothing like this ever happens again. Jennifer looked up sharply. What kind of proposal? Michael sat back down, opening his briefcase fully. I'm the CEO of Thompson Industries. We're a technology consulting firm with offices in this building. He pulled out a business card, holding it out. We're currently looking for an executive assistant. The position includes full benefits, including health insurance and child care assistance. Jennifer stared at the card, but didn't take it. I'm not qualified for her. You manage 2 jobs, coordinate child care, handle all your household responsibilities, and still make time to put yellow clips in your daughter's hair every morning. Michael smiled. That's exactly the kind of organizational skill and dedication I need in an assistant. This is crazy, Jennifer's mother interrupted. You can't seriously be offering her a job right now. After everything that's happened, Mom? Jennifer's voice was tired but firm. Please. Michael continued as if there hadn't been an interruption. The salary is competitive, more than both your current jobs combined. And most importantly, we have an on-site daycare facility for employees' children. Professional, licensed child care providers who won't abandon their posts. Jennifer felt tears threatening again. Why are you doing this? Because I believe in karma, Jennifer. In paying forward the help we receive in life. He set the business card on the bench between them. 20 years ago, I was a scared kid alone in the rain. Someone helped me, changed my life. Now I have a chance to do the same. The lobby fell silent except for Lily's soft breathing and the distant sound of rain. Jennifer looked at the business card, then at her sleeping daughter, then at Michael's earnest face. I don't know what to say, she whispered. Say you'll think about it. Michael stood, gathering his wet jacket. The card has my direct number. Call me tomorrow, or next week, or never. It's entirely your choice. He turned to leave, but Lily stirred suddenly. Mr. Thompson? Her sleepy voice made him pause. Can I still have a turtle? Michael laughed softly. Ask your mom about that one, kiddo. Jennifer watched him walk away, his wet shoes leaving prints on the marble floor. The business card sat between her and her mother like a bridge or a barrier. She wasn't sure which. Jennifer, her mother started. Not now, Mom. Jennifer stood carefully, adjusting Lily in her arms. We need to get home. It's been a long night. The business card felt heavy in her pocket as they walked out into the rain. Behind them, the lobby lights cast long shadows on the wet pavement, stretching toward whatever tomorrow might bring. Jennifer sat in her small apartment kitchen the next morning, staring at the business card on the table. Lily was still asleep, exhausted from the previous night's events. The morning light filtered through the tired curtains, illuminating the dust particles floating in the air. Her phone buzzed. Another message from Maria. Please let me explain. I never meant for this to happen. Jennifer deleted it without responding. She'd already received 15 similar messages since last night. Her mother had called twice, but she'd let those go to voicemail too. The sound of small feet padding across the floor made her look up. Lily appeared in the doorway, hair tousled from sleep, still wearing her clothes from yesterday. Mommy, do we have mac and cheese? Jennifer managed a smile. For breakfast? Mr. Thompson said mac and cheese is good anytime. Lily climbed onto her lap. He told me about his mom's special recipe. Did he now? Jennifer stroked her daughter's hair. You talked a lot with Mr. Thompson, huh? Lily nodded enthusiastically. He showed me pictures of his turtle too. A real one, in a big tank in his office. Jennifer's hand paused. His office? While we waited for you. The security man took us up there because it was raining so hard. Lily twisted to look at her mother. Can we visit the turtle? Before Jennifer could respond, her phone buzzed again. This time, it was a number she didn't recognize. Her heart jumped when she saw the area code match the one on Michael Thompson's business card. She answered on the third ring. Hello, Jennifer? It's Michael Thompson. His voice sounded different in the daylight. More businesslike. I hope I'm not calling too early. No, we're up. She glanced at Lily, who was now drawing circles on the table with her finger. Actually, Lily was just telling me about your turtle. A warm chuckle came through the phone. Ah, yes, Franklin Jr., named by my niece, though I'm not sure the turtle appreciates the reference. She said you took her to your office. Yes, He paused. I realize now I should have mentioned that last night. The security footage shows that too, if you'd like to see it. James suggested we wait somewhere more comfortable than the lobby, and my office has a couch where she could rest. Jennifer remembered how dry Lily had been despite the rain. That was thoughtful of you. I want to be completely transparent, Jennifer. After what happened last night, you deserve nothing less. Papers rustled in the background, which is why I'm calling. Could you meet me at the office today? There are some things I'd like to show you. About the job. Yes, but also about why I was really there last night. Jennifer's grip tightened on the phone. What do you mean? Why you were really there? Nothing sinister, I promise. Just something I think you need to know. Bring Lily if you'd like. Franklin Jr. could use the company. Mr. Thompson. Michael, please. Michael. Jennifer watched Lily humming to herself, drawing invisible patterns. I appreciate what you did last night. But if this is some kind of setup or the lobby security desk has a visitor's pass waiting for you, he interrupted gently. Come up to the 15th floor anytime today. Stay for 5 minutes or 5 hours. Leave whenever you want. I just think you should have all the facts before you make any decisions about your future. Jennifer thought about her empty bank account, about the job she'd lost last night, about the stack of unpaid bills on her counter. What time, she asked finally. I'm here all day. Whenever works for you. After hanging up, Jennifer stared at the business card again. Thompson Industries occupied the top 5 floors of the building where she'd found Lily last night, where a CEO had spent an hour comforting her daughter instead of calling child services or walking away. Baby, she said softly, how would you like to see that turtle today? Lily's face lit up. Really? Can we bring him mac and cheese? Turtles don't eat mac and cheese, silly. Jennifer tickled her daughter's side, savoring the giggle it produced. Go get dressed while I make breakfast. Real breakfast, she added as Lily opened her mouth to protest. An hour later, they stood in the lobby of the Thompson Industries building. The marble floors gleamed, showing no trace of last night's wet footprints. James, the security guard, smiled as they approached. Ms. Brooks, Mr. Thompson said you'd be coming. He slid 2 visitor badges across the desk. 15th floor. Eleanor at reception will help you from there. The elevator ride felt longer than it should have. Lily bounced excitedly beside her, chattering about turtles and mac and cheese and Mr. Thompson's magic phone that could show movies of the playground. The elevator doors opened to a reception area that probably cost more than Jennifer's yearly salary. An elegant older woman looked up from behind a curved desk. Ms. Brooks? Her smile was genuine. I'm Eleanor. Mr. Thompson asked me to show you to the conference room. She glanced at Lily. And I hear someone wants to see Franklin Jr.? Lily nodded enthusiastically. Eleanor stood, revealing a conservative but clearly expensive suit. Right this way, ladies. They followed her down a hallway lined with glass offices. People in business attire looked up as they passed, some smiling, others curious. Jennifer felt painfully aware of her worn jeans and faded t-shirt. Eleanor stopped at a large corner office. Through the glass walls, Jennifer could see Michael Thompson standing at a window, phone to his ear. A massive aquarium occupied one wall, and sure enough, a large turtle was swimming lazily inside. The turtle! Lily pressed her face against the glass. Michael turned at her voice, his face breaking into a smile. He said something into the phone and hung up, coming to open the door. Ms. Brooks. Lily. He knelt down to Lily's level. Would you like to help Eleanor feed Franklin Jr.? It's almost his breakfast time. Lily looked at Jennifer, who nodded. Eleanor held out her hand, and Lily took it eagerly. We'll be right back, Eleanor promised, leading Lily toward what looked like a break room. Michael gestured to the conference room next door. Shall we? The conference room was smaller than his office, with a table that seated maybe 8 people. One wall was covered in screens showing various data and charts. On the table sat a folder and a laptop. "Please sit." Michael closed the door behind them. "Coffee." Jennifer shook her head. "You said you had something to show me." He nodded, taking a seat across from her. "Last night, you asked why I was really there. Why I happened to see your daughter from my window." He opened the laptop. "The truth is, I was working late because I was reviewing these." He turned the screen toward her. On it was a spreadsheet filled with names and numbers. Jennifer's eyes widened as she recognized some of them. "These are employment applications," Michael finished. "Specifically, applications from single parents who've been turned down for positions due to childcare conflicts." He scrolled through the list. "Your application from 6 months ago caught my attention." Jennifer remembered. She'd applied for an administrative position at several downtown firms, hoping for better hours and benefits. All had rejected her. "You've been watching me?" "No." Michael's voice was firm. "I've been researching a problem. Did you know that 60% of qualified single parents in Detroit can't accept full-time positions because of childcare issues? That most corporate daycare programs have waiting lists months long? That the average cost of private daycare exceeds many entry-level salaries?" He pulled up another document. "This is the proposal I was working on when I saw Lily. A company-wide initiative to prioritize hiring single parents and provide immediate childcare assistance." He met her eyes. "You weren't the only application I was reviewing, but you were the one whose daughter ended up alone in the rain while her mother worked 2 jobs to survive." Jennifer's throat felt tight. "So what? This is some kind of social experiment? This is me trying to fix a broken system." Michael closed the laptop. "The executive assistant position is real. You're qualified for it. But you're right. I had an ulterior motive last night. I saw a chance to prove my point to the board. That talented people are being wasted because corporate America won't accommodate their reality." Through the glass wall, Jennifer could see Lily laughing as she watched Eleanor feed the turtle. Her daughter looked happy, safe, at ease in this pristine office with its expensive furniture and important people. "Why me?" she whispered. Michael's expression softened. "Because 20 years ago, I was living in my car, taking night classes and working whatever jobs I could find. A CEO found me sleeping in his building's parking garage. Instead of calling the police, he offered me a job. A chance." He smiled slightly. "And a place to keep my turtle?" Jennifer looked at him sharply. "Franklin Jr. is actually Franklin III, he admitted. "Turns out turtles live a long time when they're well cared for." A knock at the door interrupted them. Eleanor poked her head in. "Sorry to interrupt, but someone's asking for her mom." Lily bounded in, eyes shining. "Mommy!" Franklin ate all his breakfast, and Eleanor says there's a whole room full of kids downstairs where they do art and have snacks and everything. "That's the daycare center," Michael explained. "Would you like to see it?" Jennifer looked at her daughter's excited face, at Eleanor's kind smile, at Michael's honest eyes, at the folder still sitting unopened on the table, probably containing a job offer that could change their lives. "Yes," she said finally. "I think we would." The daycare center occupied most of the building's 3rd floor. Through the secure entrance, Jennifer could see bright rooms filled with toys, books, and small tables. Children's artwork covered the walls, and the sound of laughter drifted through the door. "We currently serve 40 children," the daycare director, Ms. Chun, explained as she swiped her keycard. "All of them belong to Thompson Industries employees." Lily pressed her face against the window, eyes wide. "Look, Mommy, they have a reading corner." Ms. Chun smiled. "Would you like to see inside, Lily? We're having story time in a few minutes." Lily looked at Jennifer, bouncing on her toes. Jennifer nodded, and Ms. Chun led Lily toward a group of children gathering around a colorful rug. "All our staff are licensed early childhood educators," Michael said quietly. "We provide breakfast, lunch, and 2 snacks daily. The curriculum includes age-appropriate learning activities, art, music, and supervised play." Jennifer watched as Lily settled onto the rug, immediately chatting with a girl her age. "This must cost a fortune. Less than you'd think when you factor in increased productivity and employee retention." Michael gestured to a small conference room. "Let's talk details." The conference room overlooked the playground, a proper playground with safety equipment and rubber matting. not the rusty public park where Lily had been left alone. Jennifer sat, her hands twisting in her lap. The folder from upstairs now sat between them on the table. "Before we open that," Michael said, "tell me what you're thinking." Jennifer laughed, a sharp, uncertain sound. "I'm thinking this is crazy. I'm thinking there has to be a catch. I'm thinking—" She took a deep breath. "I'm thinking about how happy Lily looks out there." Michael nodded. "What's holding you back?" "Everything." Jennifer stood, pacing the small room. "I don't belong here. In this building, with these people. I clean offices for a living. I barely finished community college. I'm not. Not what? Not someone who gets second chances like this." She stopped at the window, watching Lily listen to the story. "Things like this don't happen to people like me. They happen to me." Michael's voice was quiet but firm. "I lived in my car, remember? Took whatever jobs I could find. Then someone saw past my circumstances to my potential." He opened the folder. "Like I see yours." Jennifer turned. "You don't know me? I know you've maintained 2 jobs for 3 years without missing a shift until last night. I know you've never been late on your daughter's medical bills, even when it meant falling behind on rent. I know you took night classes in business administration while working full-time." She stared at him. "How did you—" "Background check. Standard procedure." He spread several papers on the table. "Your credit history shows someone who prioritizes their child's needs above all else. Your work history shows dedication and reliability. Your academic records show intelligence and determination." He looked up. "Tell me again how you're not qualified?" Jennifer sank back into her chair. "And what happens when I mess up? When I can't handle the pressure or the responsibilities? Then we train you, support you, help you succeed." Michael pushed the papers toward her. "That's what good companies do, Jennifer. They invest in their people." She picked up the top sheet. Her eyes widened at the salary figure. "This is competitive for the position, plus full benefits, including health, dental, and vision insurance for you and Lily. 4 weeks paid vacation, sick leave, 401k matching." He pointed to another page. "An immediate enrollment in our childcare program. No waiting list." Jennifer's hands shook as she read. Everything was there in black and white. A real chance. A way out of the endless struggle. "What exactly would I be doing?" she asked finally. Michael smiled. "Managing my schedule, coordinating meetings, handling correspondence. Basically doing what you already do, juggling multiple responsibilities and keeping everything organized, but for better pay and in a better environment. And if it doesn't work out, then you walk away with 3 months, severance, and a good reference." He leaned forward. "But it will work out. Want to know how I know?" Jennifer nodded despite herself. "Because last night, when your world was falling apart, you didn't break. You didn't give up. You ran through the rain, fought the police, confronted a stranger, all to protect your daughter." His eyes were intense. "That's exactly the kind of dedication I need in an assistant. Someone who doesn't quit, who finds solutions, who puts what matters first." A knock at the door interrupted them. Ms. Chun poked her head in. "Sorry to interrupt, but Lily wanted to show her mom something." Lily burst in, holding a paper. "Look what I made. It's Franklin Jr." Jennifer took the crayon drawing. A green blob with legs swam in a blue rectangle, while stick figures stood nearby. "Is that us watching him?" "Ah, me and you, and Mr. Thompson, and Ms. Eleanor, and Franklin Jr. in his house." Lily pointed to each figure. "Can we come see him again tomorrow?" Jennifer looked at Michael, who kept his face carefully neutral. "That depends, baby. We need to talk about some things first." "Like what?" "Like—" Jennifer took a deep breath. "Like maybe making some changes. Big changes." Lily climbed onto her lap. "Good changes?" "I think so." Jennifer hugged her daughter close. "How would you feel about coming here every day? Playing with those kids, doing our projects, having story time?" Lily's eyes got huge. "Every day? While I work upstairs? With Mr. Thompson? With Franklin Jr.?" Jennifer laughed. "Yes, near Franklin Jr." Lily threw her arms around Jennifer's neck. "Yes. Can we start now?" "Not quite now." Michael spoke gently. "There's paperwork to handle first. Arrangements to make." He looked at Jennifer. "If that's what your mom decides." Jennifer looked at the salary figure again, at the benefits package, at the childcare details, at her daughter's hopeful face. She thought about her empty apartment, about the job she'd lost, about running through the rain, desperate and afraid, about Michael Thompson, who'd once lived in his car and now had a turtle named Franklin Jr. "What do I need to sign?" she asked quietly. Michael slid a pen across the table. "Welcome to Thompson Industries, Jennifer." As she signed her name, Jennifer felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Real, solid hope, as tangible as the paper under her hand. "Mommy," Lily tugged her sleeve. "Does this mean we can have mac and cheese to celebrate?" Jennifer pulled her daughter close, breathing in her familiar scent. "Yeah, baby. I think we can manage that." Through the window, she could see the playground where everything had changed just yesterday. The rain had stopped, leaving the world clean and new, full of possibilities she'd never dared to imagine. "One more thing," Michael said, standing. "About that turtle Lily wants." Jennifer looked up sharply. "Don't you dare." His laugh echoed through the small room, joined by Lily's giggle and, finally, Jennifer's own. The sound of new beginnings, of second chances, of hope finding its way home. Jennifer stood in front of her bathroom mirror at 6:30 a.m., adjusting her new blazer. The price tag was still tucked in the pocket. Her first purchase with the signing bonus Michael had insisted on giving her. The woman staring back at her looked different. Professional. Put together. "Mommy," Lily called from the kitchen. "I can't find my yellow clips." "Check the drawer by the sink, baby." Jennifer smoothed her hair one last time. 1 week had passed since that rainy night, and everything had changed. She found Lily digging through the drawer, already dressed in the new outfit they bought for her first day of real school, as she called it. "Got them." Lily held up the clips triumphantly. "Can you do my hair like yesterday?" Jennifer smiled, taking the clips. 2 puffs coming right up. Her fingers moved through the familiar routine, but everything else felt new. No rushing between jobs. No cobbling together childcare. No constant knot of anxiety in her stomach. Her phone buzzed, a text from Eleanor. "Coffee ready when you get here. You've got this. Ready for our big day?" Jennifer secured the second clip in Lily's hair. Is Franklin Jr. ready too?" "I'm sure he is." Jennifer grabbed their new lunch bags from the counter, another splurge, but seeing Lily's face light up at the turtle pattern had been worth it. The bus ride downtown felt different now. Instead of exhaustion, Jennifer felt anticipation. Instead of dread, possibility. She'd spent the past week training with Eleanor, learning the systems, the protocols, the daily rhythms of Thompson Industries. "Good morning, Ms. Brooks." Lily. James greeted them at the security desk, handing over their permanent ID badges. "No more visitor passes." Lily bounced toward the elevator. "Can we see Franklin Jr. before school?" "After we get you settled in with Ms. Chun," Jennifer promised. The elevator doors opened onto the daycare floor, and Lily ran straight to the group of children already gathering for morning activities. "Good morning, Lily." Ms. Chun held out her hand. "Ready for your first official day?" "Look at my hair clips." Lily twirled. "Just like Mommy's." Jennifer had bought matching clips, yellow for both of them. A small thing, but it made Lily feel connected even when they were on different floors. "Beautiful," Ms. Chun smiled. "We're making friendship bracelets today. Would you like to learn?" Lily nodded eagerly, then turned to Jennifer. "You'll come for lunch?" "Promise." Jennifer knelt for a hug. "Have fun, baby." The elevator ride to the 15th floor felt shorter now that she knew what waited above. Eleanor sat at her desk, 2 coffee cups ready. "There's our new star." Eleanor handed Jennifer her cup, cream, no sugar, just how she liked it. "Michael's already in with the board. They're reviewing the parent hiring initiative." Jennifer set her bag at her new desk, right outside Michael's office, with a clear view of Franklin Jr.'s tank. "Any fires I need to put out?" "Just the usual morning chaos." Eleanor pulled up the calendar. "Development team needs 10 minutes with him before lunch. HR wants to review the new benefits package." "Oh, and your mother called." Jennifer nearly choked on her coffee. "Here? How did she even get this number?" "She's persistent. I'll give her that." Eleanor's eyes twinkled. "Said something about Sunday dinner?" Jennifer hadn't spoken to her mother since that night. The messages had piled up, alternating between criticism and concern, as usual. "I'll deal with that later." Jennifer logged into her computer. What's our priority for, Jennifer? Michael's voice came from his office doorway. Got a minute? She followed him inside, notepad ready. The past week had taught her to always be prepared for impromptu meetings. How's Lily settling in? He asked, feeding Franklin Jr. his morning vegetables. Good. Excited. Nervous. Jennifer smiled. Normal kid stuff. And you? How are you settling in? Jennifer thought about her new blazer. The matching lunch bags. The yellow clips. It still doesn't feel real sometimes. Michael nodded. I felt the same way. First day in a real office after living in my car. Kept waiting for someone to realize I didn't belong. How long until that feeling went away? I'll let you know when it happens. He grinned. But here's what I do know. You're already making a difference. He gestured to the boardroom across the hall, where men and women in expensive suits studied presentations and charts. They're reviewing the numbers right now. Productivity increases. Retention rates. Cost-benefit analyses of on-site childcare. He turned to her. You're not just changing your life, Jennifer. You're helping change the whole system. By being your assistant? By proving what I've been saying for years, that talent and dedication come in all packages. That sometimes the best employees are the ones who've had to fight the hardest just to survive. The intercom buzzed. Eleanor's voice came through. Sorry to interrupt, but development is here early. And Jennifer, Lily's teacher, called. She wants to show you something at lunch. Go. Michael waved her toward the door. Be a mom. That's what this is all about, right? Jennifer headed back to her desk, where the development team waited. Her desk, in her office at her job. The words still felt strange. Her phone buzzed again. Another message from her mother. You can't ignore me forever. Sunday dinner. Bring Lily. And this new boss of yours if you want. Jennifer stared at the message. A week ago, she'd been juggling 2 jobs and unreliable babysitters. Now she had benefits, a salary that meant no more choosing between rent and medicine, and a daughter who bounced out of bed excited for school. Maybe it was time to face her mother, to show her that sometimes the crazy chances, the impossible dreams, the strangers in the rain, sometimes they turned out to be exactly what you needed. Jennifer? The development team leader cleared his throat. About that meeting? She straightened professional smile in place. Of course. Let me check his schedule. The morning passed in a blur of meetings, phone calls, and emails. Jennifer absorbed it all, asking questions when needed, taking notes, learning the rhythm of her new world. By lunchtime, she felt like she'd run a marathon, but a good one. A marathon with a purpose. The elevator dinged at the daycare floor. She could hear children laughing before the doors opened. Lily sat at a small table, concentrating hard on something in her hands. Mommy, look what I made. A wobbly friendship bracelet dangled from her fingers, yellow and green threads woven together. It's beautiful, baby. Jennifer sat beside her. Is it for someone special? It's for Franklin Jr. Lily beamed. Miss Chun said turtles might not wear bracelets, but Mr. Thompson can put it on his tank, so he knows we're friends. Jennifer touched her daughter's cheek, feeling the miracle of this moment. Of Lily safe and happy, making friends and bracelets. Of having time for lunch together instead of rushing between jobs. I made one for you too. Lily pulled another bracelet from her pocket. Yellow like our clips. Jennifer slipped it on her wrist, right next to her new watch. The expensive one next to the handmade one. The professional next to the personal. Somehow, they fit perfectly together. Mommy, Lily's voice was serious. Are we going to be okay now? Jennifer looked at her daughter, really looked at her. Saw the hope in her eyes, the trust, the love. Saw all the possibilities that had opened up since that rainy night. Yeah, baby? She pulled Lily close, breathing in the scent of crayons and apple juice and childhood. We're going to be more than okay. Above them, 15 floors up, Michael Thompson probably sat feeding Franklin Jr., reviewing reports about parent hiring initiatives and childcare costs. But down here, in a bright room full of children's laughter, Jennifer held her daughter and felt the future unfold like a map to somewhere wonderful. Now, she said, straightening Lily's yellow clips, tell me about these friendship bracelets. Think we could make one for Ms. Eleanor, too. The smell of coffee woke Jennifer before her alarm. She blinked at the unfamiliar ceiling, then remembered this was home now. The new apartment, just 3 blocks from Thompson Industries. No more long bus rides. No more cramped rooms with peeling wallpaper. Lily? She patted into the kitchen, following the coffee scent. Baby, are you? She stopped short. Her mother stood at the counter, measuring coffee grounds into the new machine. About time you woke up. Her mother didn't turn around. Lily's getting dressed. That child has more clothes than she knows what to do with now. Jennifer glanced at the clock, 6:45 a.m. Mom, how did you even get in? You gave Lily a key, didn't you? For emergencies? The coffee maker gurgled to life. Well, this is an emergency. 3 weeks you've been working at this place, and I barely see my grandbaby anymore. Mom, Grandma's taking me to school today. Lily burst into the kitchen, wearing her favorite new dress and yellow clips. She said we can get donuts. Jennifer's mother finally turned, arms crossed. Unless that's not allowed anymore? Now that you're all corporate and fancy. Donuts are fine. Jennifer poured herself coffee, fighting to keep her voice steady. But you can't just show up like this. I have meetings this morning, schedules to keep. Schedules. Her mother sniffed. Since when did you get too busy for family? I'm not too busy for. Mommy, can Grandma come see Franklin Jr. today? Lily tugged Jennifer's sleeve. Please? Jennifer looked at her daughter's hopeful face, then at her mother's challenging one. 3 weeks of avoiding this conversation, and now here it was, serving coffee in her kitchen at 6:45 a.m. Actually, Jennifer said slowly, that might be a good idea. Her mother blinked. What? Come see where we work. Meet everyone. Stay for lunch if you want. Jennifer sipped her coffee. Unless you're too busy? The drive to Thompson Industries was quiet except for Lily's chatter about Franklin Jr. and her friends at daycare. Jennifer watched her mother's face in the rearview mirror, noting every reaction. Ms. Brooks. James greeted them at the security desk. And this must be Grandma Brooks. Lily's told us all about you. Her mother accepted the visitor's badge with raised eyebrows. Has she now? The daycare floor was already buzzing with activity. Miss Chun met them at the door. Lily, we're making paper turtles today. She smiled at Jennifer's mother. You must be so proud of these two. Proud? Her mother watched Lily run to join her friends. Of what exactly? Mom. Jennifer's voice was firm. Let me show you around. The elevator ride to the 15th floor felt endless. Eleanor looked up as they arrived, her smile warm. Mrs. Brooks, we've been hoping to meet you. She handed Jennifer a stack of messages. Michael's running late. Traffic on the bridge. Development needs the quarterly reports by 10, and HR sent over the new parent initiative numbers. Jennifer's mother watched her daughter move through the office, fielding questions, checking schedules, directing calls. Professional. Confident. In control. Come see Franklin Jr. Lily had appeared again, pulling her grandmother toward the tank. He's having breakfast. Michael stood there, feeding the turtle its morning vegetables. Ah, the famous Grandma Brooks. Lily's told me all about your mac and cheese recipe. Has she now? Her mother's voice was less sharp now, more uncertain. And you're the one who found her that night? Found her? Michael smiled at Lily. More like she found me. Told me all about her brave mom who works 2 jobs. Her grandma who makes the best mac and cheese. Her dream of having a pet turtle. He looked at Jennifer's mother. You raised a daughter who raised an amazing child, Mrs. Brooks. This company is better for having them here. Jennifer watched her mother absorb the office, the view, the respect in people's voices when they spoke to her daughter. You really work here? Her mother asked quietly. This is really your life now? Want to see my desk? Jennifer led her mother to the workspace outside Michael's office. This is where I manage schedules, coordinate meetings, handle correspondence. Handle? You're a secretary? Executive assistant, Eleanor corrected, passing by with more files. And one of the best we've had. You should see how she reorganized the filing system. Jennifer's mother sank into a visitor's chair. I don't understand. How did this happen? Because someone looked past circumstances to see potential. Michael appeared in his doorway. Same thing that happened to me 20 years ago. Sometimes people just need a chance. A chance? Her mother's voice cracked. My baby was cleaning offices, working nights at that awful store. And now I'm okay, Mom. Jennifer touched her mother's hand. We're both okay. Lily bounded back in, paper turtle clutched in her hands. Look what I made. Can we put it on Franklin Jr.'s tank? Of course we can. Michael lifted her up to tape it next to the friendship bracelet. Right where you can see it. Jennifer's mother watched them, her granddaughter happy and confident, her daughter professional and assured. The office hummed with activity around them, but this moment felt quiet, important. You did this, she said finally, looking at Michael. You changed their lives? No, Mrs. Brooks. Michael set Lily down. Jennifer did that. I just opened a door. She walked through it on her own. The morning passed quickly. Jennifer's mother watched her daughter handle calls, direct meetings, solve problems, watched Lily thrive in her classroom downstairs. Watched the respect in everyone's eyes when they spoke to Jennifer. At lunch, they sat in the break room, Lily between them with her turtle-pattern lunch bag. I was wrong, her mother said suddenly. Jennifer looked up from her salad. What? That night, when I said it was your fault, when I said you should have listened to me. Her mother's eyes were bright. I was scared, angry, but mostly scared. Mom, you did it, baby. Her mother reached across the table, squeezing Jennifer's hand. You found a way. Without my help. Without anyone's help. You did it. Not without help. Jennifer thought of Michael in the rain, Eleanor's morning coffee, Miss Chin's kindness. Just different help than we expected. Grandma? Lily held up her paper turtle. Want to make one with me? We could put it next to mine on Franklin Jr.'s tank. Jennifer watched her mother follow Lily back to the daycare floor, their heads bent together over construction paper and glue. Outside the window, Detroit stretched out below them, the same city where she'd once run through the rain, desperate and afraid. Eleanor appeared with fresh coffee. Your mother's something else? Yeah. Jennifer smiled. She really is? Like mother, like daughter? Eleanor nodded toward Michael's office, where he sat on the phone, Franklin Jr. swimming lazy circles in his tank. Sometimes the hardest part of change is letting people see you succeed. Jennifer touched the friendship bracelet on her wrist, then the yellow clip in her hair. Sometimes the hardest part is letting them see you're still you. Above the city where everything had changed, Jennifer Brooks watched her mother and daughter make paper turtles and knew that some things, the important things, stayed the same no matter how high you climbed. 3 months passed like water through Franklin Jr.'s tank, steady, constant, clear. Jennifer stood at her office window, watching the same rain that had changed everything fall on a different Detroit. Her reflection in the glass showed someone she was still getting used to. Confident posture, professional clothes, yellow clip bright in her dark hair. Quarter-end reports are ready. Eleanor's voice broke her reverie. Board meeting in 20 minutes. Jennifer grabbed the files from her desk. Michael's still on that call with Singapore? Just wrapped up? Eleanor smiled. By the way, Maria's downstairs. Jennifer's hand froze on the papers. What? Security called up. She's in the lobby, asking to see you. Eleanor touched her arm. Want me to send her away? Through the glass walls, Jennifer could see Lily in Michael's office, showing Franklin Jr. her latest art project, while Michael pretended to be deeply interested in her crayon technique. After-school hours had become their special time. Daddy-daughter bonding, Michael called it, though he'd blush if anyone pointed out the slip. No, Jennifer said finally. Send her up. She met Maria by the elevators. Her former babysitter looked smaller somehow, nervous in her waitress uniform. Jennifer, hi. Maria twisted her hands. I've been trying to call. I know. Maria glanced around the elegant office. I needed to see for myself that you were okay, that Lily was okay. We're more than okay. Jennifer gestured to her desk, the view, the life she'd built. No thanks to your cousin. Maria flinched. Amanda, she's not babysitting anymore. After what happened, she took a deep breath. My mother died last week. Jennifer felt the old anger soften slightly. I'm sorry. The stroke. She never really recovered. Maria wiped her eyes. I kept thinking about that night. How I left Lily with Amanda because I was scared for my mom. How I could have ruined everything trying to fix my own problems. Through the glass, they could see Lily laughing as Michael helped her tape another drawing to Franklin Jr.'s tank. Is that him? Maria asked softly. The man who found her? That's Michael Thompson. My boss. Jennifer watched him pretend to consult with the turtle about Lily's artistic choices. And my friend, she looks happy. She is happy. Jennifer turned to Maria. We both are. I'm glad. Maria started toward the elevator, then stopped. Jennifer? Thank you. For what? For not pressing charges. For not ruining Amanda's life over one terrible mistake. Maria's eyes were wet. You could have. Jennifer thought about second chances, about living in cars and finding turtles, about rain washing everything clean. Take care of yourself, Maria. The board meeting went smoothly. Jennifer presented the quarterly numbers with a confidence that still surprised her sometimes. The parent hiring initiative was expanding to other departments, other companies. Change rippling out like rain on water. Excellent work, Michael said afterward, as board members filed out. Ready for the next surprise? Jennifer groaned. Please tell me you didn't buy another turtle. Better. He handed her an envelope. Open it. Inside was a certificate, elegant paper, official seals. Jennifer read it twice before the words made sense. A college fund? Her voice cracked. For Lily? Thompson Industries Educational Trust. Michael grinned. For all employees' children now. But Lily's the first recipient. He nodded toward his office, where Lily was attempting to teach Franklin Jr. a dance move. Full ride, any school she wants. Jennifer sank into a chair. Michael, don't cry. Eleanor just redid your makeup for the Channel 7 interview. The what? Oh, did I forget to mention? His eyes twinkled. They want to do a story. Corporate America's childcare revolution. Your story, Jennifer. How one night in the rain changed everything. Jennifer touched the yellow clip in her hair. Our story. Speaking of which, Michael cleared his throat. Your mother called. Sunday dinner's still on. You're coming, right? Lily will cry if Uncle Michael misses mac and cheese night. Wouldn't miss it. He watched Lily twirl for her reptilian audience. You know, Franklin Jr.'s getting kind of lonely in that big tank. No, just a small one. For Lily's room. Absolutely not. But, meeting in 5 minutes. Jennifer stood, straightening her jacket. Development team needs those projections. HR wants to review the new parental leave policy, and your 3 o'clock canceled. Michael laughed. Yes, boss. Later, after the interview crews had packed up their cameras and the office had quieted, Jennifer stood at Franklin Jr.'s tank with Lily. Tell me the story again, Lily said, watching the turtle swim. About the rainy night. Jennifer pulled her daughter close. Once upon a time, a little girl got lost in the rain, and a man with a turtle found her. That's right. And he didn't just find her. He found her mom, too. Found all the lost pieces of their life and helped put them back together. Better than before, Lily added. With yellow clips and friendship bracelets and mac and cheese. And Franklin Jr., Jennifer conceded, making Lily giggle. Outside, the rain had stopped. Detroit gleamed below them. Wet streets shining like possibilities. Jennifer thought about Maria in the lobby, about second chances and forgiveness, about her mother's Sunday dinners and Michael's gentle guidance and Eleanor's morning coffee, about running through the rain, desperate and afraid, only to find shelter in the most unexpected place. Mommy, Lily's voice was sleepy. Are we still lost? Jennifer looked at their reflection in the tank glass, mother and daughter, matching yellow clips, standing in an office 15 floors above their old life. No, baby. She kissed Lily's curls. We're exactly where we're supposed to be. Franklin Jr. swam past, wearing his friendship bracelet proudly on his tank. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new changes, new chances to prove that talent comes in all packages and dedication wears many faces. But tonight, in a quiet office with her daughter's hand in hers, Jennifer Brooks watched the turtle swim circles in his tank and knew that sometimes the best endings start on the worst nights, when the rain falls hard and hope seems lost. Sometimes you just have to trust the stranger with the turtle. Sometimes you have to let yourself be found. Come on, she said, gathering their things. Let's go home. Lily waved to Franklin Jr. See you tomorrow. Jennifer caught Michael's eye as they left. He sat at his desk, tie loose, reading through more applications from single parents looking for their own second chances. Thank you, she mouthed. He shook his head, smiling. Thank you, he mouthed back. In the elevator, Lily hummed her turtle song while Jennifer checked their schedule for tomorrow. More meetings, more changes, more chances to prove that one night in the rain could wash the whole world clean. The lobby gleamed under the evening lights. James waved as they passed, heading out into a city that felt different now. Better. Possible. Ready? Jennifer asked, taking Lily's hand. Her daughter grinned, yellow clips catching the light. Ready? Together they stepped outside, where the rain had stopped and the stars were coming out, bright as second chances against the Detroit sky.